if you have actually been struggling and you've been looking for some type of way to be able to earn some extra money and you do not know where to start, this is the video for you. Many people go throughout their lives, they realize that working a job is not enough. They realize that they want more time freedom. They realize they want more income and they do not know where to start. And that may be you. And if that is the case, you are in the right place today. Welcome to this video. So in this video, we're going to be talking about something very important, which I've actually went through, and I believe that you may also be going through it, but it is a necessary journey that you actually need to go on to be able to have success, and that is failure. Now, I know that you may be sitting there thinking, like, Matthew, why are you saying that failure is the way to success? That's because failure is the way to success. Society has actually brainwashed us and conditioned us to think that if we try something and it doesn't work, that means that we shouldn't be doing it. And it doesn't always mean that. Sometimes when we go out and do something and it doesn't work, it actually helps us get closer to what we should be doing. And even over the period of time, maybe all of those different skill sets or a combination of those different skill sets that we learn end up helping us get to the overall goal of what we actually want to do. And the reason why I bring that up is because behind me, I actually have some things that I have actually learned over the past almost 5 years of being on this entrepreneurship journey. So for those that don't know, I'm actually an engineer. I work as an engineer over in Tucson, Arizona. And I decided that I want to be an engineer because I want to be rich. I grew up and my mom was a single parent. She was working 2 or 3 jobs. And one day I remember that I was hanging out with my best friend and he got the new iPod Touch. It's when it first came out. And I went and asked my mom for it because at that time, if you had a Wi-Fi connection, you can actually play games. So I wanted to be able to play games with my friend on the iPod Touch. So I went and I asked my mom and, she told me no. And I was like, well, at least I asked. But a couple of days later, she actually called me to the living room and she was like, hey, Matthew, I want to show you something. So I went, sat on the couch next to her. She had her laptop, and what she ended up showing me really shocked me, and it is something that is ingrained in my memory from even until today, and it will be for the rest of my life. So she showed me this Excel spreadsheet that basically had all these numbers on it. Some were black, some were red, or whatever. And she said, you've actually been doing good in school. That was a condition for me to be able to get certain things. She said, you've been doing good at school. You've been doing your chores. You've been behaving yourself. And I would like to get you this iPod Touch. However, I cannot afford it. And she said, right now, this is actually what the bills look like. And when I looked at it, I saw some things in red. And she said, it's by the grace of God that we are actually able to still be able to survive because some of these bills are not being paid on time right now. And I was like, man, like I just kind of felt for my mom there because it was a vulnerable moment for her to even just have me sitting there and for her to go over the finances with me and show me, the rent cost, the food cost, the car payment, the insurance on the car, gas, and all these other things. And I did not realize that. So at that moment in time, when I ended up going back to my room, I made a declaration to myself. I said, when I actually become an adult, I'm going to become rich. And I want to become rich because one, I want to be able to retire my mom. But then the other reason that I want to become rich is because I do not want to tell my future children, my future wife, I do not want the reason why I'm telling them no is because I don't have the money or because we don't have the money. I want the reason to be saying no is because one, maybe it's going to put them at risk as far as safety. Maybe it's going to put them at risk as far as their health, or maybe they just don't want to do it, or maybe I don't want to do it. Those are the only reasons why I want to say no. And that is what caused me to go out to school to become an engineer. My best friend's dad was an engineer, and I saw the lifestyle that they had. He had the nice car and the nice house, big screen TV, always had the new games coming out. And I said, hey, look, maybe if I want to be rich at that moment when I was 12, I said, if I want to be rich, I need to talk to him. So I went and started talking to my best friend's dad, and he started telling me about what it is that he did. and he was an engineer. So I was like, okay, well, for me to become rich, I need to become an engineer too. And that's why I decided to go to school to become an engineer. But what I actually discovered as I started working as an engineer is that just because you have a high income, that does not mean that you are going to be secure, and it does not mean that you are going to be rich, because a salary does not determine how much you are going to be able to be secure or the level of security that you have. What does determine that is how much of that you are able to keep and being able to put your money to work. So, of course, on this channel, you'll be seeing different things about finances, different books that I'm reading, different lessons I'm learning. But today, I want to talk about fail your way to success, because it is important for you to get out there and try new things. When a baby first start walking, a baby doesn't just take a step and then they fall and then they say, well, this is not meant for me, I'm not going to try to walk again. Or when they go to try to talk, then they say, I'm not going to talk again. But what ends up happening is they take a step, they fall. The next time they are able to stand up, then they take a step, they take the second step, then they fall. They continue to keep going because failure is the ultimate way to success. And on this board, what I'm actually have here, what I have listed out, are a lot of the different things that I have tried over the last almost 5 years of being on this entrepreneurship journey. I tried business structuring, I tried copywriting, day trading, YouTube recording, which even I'm recording a YouTube channel right now, podcasting and podcast setup, multi-purpose content. AI came out, so I learned about AI prompting. I learned about AI automation. I learned about social media content creation and how to leverage AI for that. I learned about marketing, learned about business growth and how to scale a business, learned about social media marketing, learned about lead generation, learned about Meta ads. And Meta is basically the overarching thing of everything that they own, which is Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. And there are some other things as well. But I learned about how to run Meta ads and creating them. I learned about Canva content creation or content design. I learned about how to build funnels. I learned about Go High Level and also ClickFunnels. And I also learned about email marketing and SMS marketing. And I basically have all of this on this board to share with you that there are a lot of different things that I have tried. Now, the great thing is, because I've tried a lot of these different things, it's actually been able to help me get to the point where I'm at now, where I finally have gotten to a point of deciding, hey, look, this is the area that I want to focus on. But because I've tried a lot of these different things over the years, it has allowed for me to easily be able to put myself out there on social media. It's allowed for me to be able to create content. It's allowed for me to be able to understand how I need to set up my business, how I need to structure my business. And because I've tried all these things over the past 5 years, 4 to 5 years, that has allowed for me to get to the place where I'm at now. So for some of you, you may just be starting out. This may be your first month. It may be your first year. It may be your 5th year. Whatever year it is, it does not matter. Just make sure that you are learning things along the way. Make sure that you are actually taking note of what it is that you're learning, because you are basically failing forward. You are failing your way to success, because for you to be successful, you have to go down first. You have to fail first. Even when you go and you plant a seed for a tree, or you plant a seed for a vegetable, what is it that you do? You actually are putting the seed in the ground and you are covering it up. And then eventually you will see that it will start to sprout up. So what you have to do is not be so hard on yourself. Give yourself some grace. For a long time, I thought that I was just a failure, and I was like, man, like, this isn't working. I don't know what I'm gonna do, and this is bad. And my family is seeing me doing all this different stuff. My friends are seeing me do all this different stuff, and they don't know what I'm actually doing, and I don't even know what I'm actually doing. But all of this ends up coming together and working together for what I'm actually working on now. So I hope that with this video that you are actually encouraged to go out there and fail forward. Failure leads to success. All right. Now, with that being said, make sure that, if you have any questions, if there's anything that you would like for me to cover more in depth, on any other videos that you're watching, make sure that you go ahead and comment that down below. My goal is to be able to share the things that I'm learning to help you, and to also allow for this to be a hub or a pillar for you to learn about finances, for you to learn about entrepreneurship, and mindset so that you are actually able to better your life. So thank you once again for tuning in, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace out for now.